but it's the only chance I have to share this. Um, I had a really deep dream, just like I did several days ago when I shared my dream about a very deep bond, very deep bond I had with a particular soul. And this is the same, except it was a different type of bond. It was a different type of energy. It was more akin to like a sister or a friend, but unlike anything I've experienced here as a sister or a friend, uh, indescribably close, which at this point I haven't seen, doesn't seem even possible here. But I was with a couple of acquaintances that I actually do know here on this planet. Not friends, but people I know. And we were driving down a highway, and it was like a magnetic highway, meaning uh, there was no asphalt. It was made out of some kind of copper, reddish, metallic structure that was on the floor, and it had square holes in it, and it almost felt like the vehicle was being pulled by this roadway or something of that nature, like it energized the car. And it was a really strange looking thing. Just imagine a metal, like a 50-foot wide metallic grate. It kind of looked like a grate, like you would see over a sewer system, but imagine it a million times bigger. And we just glided down this roadway, and we were descending down a desert mountain. This is a very bone-dry desert. Um, but what we see before us is a city, a gorgeous, stunning, beautiful city. And the way that we descended is the same way, it looked the same like as you approach Las Vegas on the 15 coming from California. It had that same sort of descent and appearance into the city. For those of you that have never driven that way, it's kind of hard to explain, but you can see the entire city as you drive down this mountain on Interstate 15. And so I put the two and two together, and I realized this was either a parallel reality of Las Vegas, or this was a future version of Las Vegas. Not our future, but a future. And it was glistening, it was gleaming, and not in the sense that there was casinos or anything like that. Actually, I really don't like Vegas in general. Very dark vibe there, but this place was nothing like that. Um, it almost looked like there were skyscrapers, and they were made out of like crystal, like glass. They were shimmering and beaming in all directions, and a lot of the buildings had that same reddish, dark red copper color that the highway had. Okay, and it was very uniform and structured. And I also see this massive river to my right. Now, in our current Vegas, we have the Colorado River, but it's not right where the city is. It is like 50 miles away, 40, something like that. And there you have the Hoover Dam, which is a strange place on its own. But here you had a very large river, and there was like canals that were feeding the city and feeding these crystal like glistening, shining, shimmering buildings. But that wasn't the only thing. I noticed there was a dome, a transparent like dome over the city. It was like a like a like a botanical dome, like a greenhouse. That's the kind of vibe it gave me, because inside the city there was a lot of greenery. There was a lot of very green trees that don't look like they particularly belong there, but they were beautiful. And so as we're driving, we drop off one of my acquaintances who said he had to go do something. And so we couldn't contact him back. We lost touch. So me and the other friend, we exited the freeway at some point in the city, and the exit themselves were a little bit strange because they had their own little domes to them. Okay, and when you exit off the freeway, and then for some reason there's like this metallic oval like structure that looked like steel, and it opened on its own. It was very large, and you had to descend downward in a staircase, and there you emerge inside of the dome, inside of the bigger dome. So there is a smaller dome, and then you walk down, and there you have access to the larger dome. It's hard to explain, um, but it made sense when I was experiencing it. And so I walk around and I stumble upon someone I recognized immediately. Now, this woman, she had sunglasses on, but her appearance was that of similar to the actress Mila Kunis, perhaps more of an Asian appearance. She said her name was Nima, and what that means, I guess in Farsi, means born in a prosperous time. And so she proceeded to show me around her house. And then on top of there being a larger dome over the city, each individual houses had some kind of transparent dome as well. And she had a beautiful garden, a gorgeous, stunningly beautiful garden in her backyard, which she couldn't wait to show me. And of these really exotic plants that I've never seen here or don't recognize. Really strange looking stuff. And so we're sitting in our garden and we're having this just in-depth conversation. And I got this understanding that we're meeting at this junction, and that we are currently living these separate lives in separate realities that we chose. So she is in that reality, and I am in this one, and we're talking, and I'm explaining to her that I'm not very happy and I'm not doing well in this reality. And you know what? She had this profound love and understanding towards the situation like nobody I've experienced here. And she uplifted my soul to such a higher level. And I don't even have words to describe it. But before I left, I put my hands on her shoulder and I remember saying, "You are a beautiful soul." And she just gave me this very small little smirky smile, but in the nicest, kindest way. And so we move on away from there. But yeah, in summary, it's a domed city full of greenery, full of crystal skyscrapers, magnetic roadways, some kind of strange exits where you have to enter into a metallic cone-like structure to enter into other domes. It was a really interesting place to see. Very interesting. The only part that sucked was waking up.